Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Fabulous. I've got a lot of stuff to get to. Coming up later in the program, we have got a guest. Our guest this weekend, we actually are going to be talking about taxes. Next weekend is the big day, Heidi. So we've got Grace Lawton and Lisa Bowman talking about myfreetaxes.com. So I'm going to have to pay attention and see what that's all about. We have a couple of quotes. The Saturday quote, there are two kinds of failures, those who thought and never did, and those who did and never thought.
I could see that.
I agree with that, too. And then the Sunday quote, I am a designer, and I work very hard at that. Sometimes people want to put down fashion by saying it's frivolous or superficial, but it's not that way at all. It's actually very hard work. That's Donatella Versace. By the way, the first one was from Lawrence J. Peter. I don't know who that is. A couple of quotes for you, though. And one last thing, surprising new research shows that people who walk their dogs don't get as much exercise as people who don't have dogs. What? That seems kind of weird. You'd think that people who were walking their dogs would be getting more exercise, but apparently they're not. Dogs are dragging us down.
Our poor dogs.
Yeah.
They
Our
never
son
get
went
to
for
go
a walk
anywhere.
the other day, and he didn't decide. He said, "Did you take the dogs?" No, I'm taking them. You're fending for themselves. Coming up, some special stuff going on this weekend. We'll tell you all about it.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
Thought you'd never ask. Let's do the whole darn weekend. Saturday, April the 8th, Baby Massage Day, Draw a Bird Day, International Roma Day, National Dog Fighting Awareness Day, Take Your Parents to the Playground Day, Trading Cards for Grown-Ups Day, and Slow Art Day. Sunday, April the 9th, is Appomattox Day, Global Day to End Child Sexual Abuse. Well, that should be every day. Jenkins Ear Day, Jumbo Day, National Cherish an Antique Day. Good day to cherish some antiques. National Former Prisoners of War Recognition Day. And our son will like this, Winston Churchill Day.
I love Churchill.
I know you do. And so does our son. He was telling me all about Winston Churchill the other day. So
He was a stud.
Learning all kinds of stuff. Couple of fun things going on this weekend. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
How much do you pay for cable or satellite? Don't forget your DVR rental fees and online movie accounts. When you add it all up, many people are paying well over $100 a month. Some pay way more. What if you could cut that down to zero? There's a device that surfs the net to find shows and programs you like with no monthly fee. Many have already cut their cable or tossed out their dish. If you have internet and a TV, you're all set. Learn more about this awesome technology that can save you money every month at channelsurfertv.com. Use promo code RADIO to save 25% at channelsurfertv.com.
John and Heidi.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. A woman is getting upset about her husband's constant companion, somebody that's with him all the time. Guess who it is?
Their dog.
No, a ventriloquist dummy.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I would have a problem with that too.
A woman in South Wales has decided that the old saying of 2 is company and 3 is a crowd definitely describes her marriage. For many years now, she and her husband have had a wonderful marriage, but then one fateful day, her hubby found someone else, literally found someone else in the attic. Maureen Roberts is fed up with having to share her husband with his friend, a ventriloquist dummy named Charlie Boy.
Oh my goodness.
I just love that's his name. Because we got a Charlie on our program that now I'm thinking of him as a little dummy. That's kind of funny. She says that it's either her or Charlie Boy. And her husband says, I'm going to have to decide. Ever since finding his old
Are
friend,
you kidding? He can't decide.
Maureen's husband, Ray, he's in the doghouse, lays a place for Charlie Boy at the dinner table, takes him on trips to the supermarket, even takes him, this wooden doll, on romantic dinners with his wife.
Oh my gosh.
Of course, Ray has been working on his ventriloquism skills as well, so even when he and Maureen are just staying at home and watching television, she gets hit with a barrage of stupid comments from Charlie Boy. Ray says he's sorry that his wooden friend is upsetting his wife, but he adds that every man needs a hobby to stop marriage from becoming boring. Well, I don't need a hobby to keep my marriage from becoming boring. And Ray, I don't know who's the dummy here, Charlie Boy or you. Because if your wife doesn't like this,
Not
I mean,
very smart.
this
at
is a
all.
bad idea, man.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to talk some sense into this knucklehead. Why are you doing this? It's like he wants her to divorce him.
Oh my.
This I could see somebody in this situation sending a letter for Dear John letters. That would be my favorite one to answer ever. So maybe the South Wales lady can send us a letter. Probably not. She's probably too busy looking for a divorce attorney. And you know it's true? Because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
And this is your brain on drugs. Does a state have to have an official everything? Well, they don't have to, but there's a representative in Missouri that's saying, I think we need a state beer. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I could hear that.
Missouri State Rep Kurt Doherty wants to make the King of Beers the official state beer of Missouri. He said Budweiser is a Missouri-based international icon. If officially recognized, it might even persuade more people to visit the state. His reasoning is, we've got a state dinosaur, we've got a state frog and a state reptile, a state flower, a state nut, but no state beer. Doherty's bill was introduced last week, but has not been referred to a House committee as of yet. Budweiser has been made in St. Louis, by the way, and by their Anheuser-Busch company there since 1876. So it's been there a long time. You know, usually it's somebody doing something knuckleheaded for the brain on drugs. I don't know how that got stuck here. I guess because
it's alcohol.
Because it had beer, and I thought, oh, hey.
I think that's a great idea.
It is kind of
every
a good
state
idea.
should have a state beer, and then
There
you
you
could travel every state and taste
yeah.
all of the beers.
See, there you go. Good. No,
Or one bar could have
all 50 states.
all
beers.
50 states, and
See?
you have to do like a flight.
Yeah. All right.
That's
Coming up,
awesome.
your moment of duh.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh. From Buffalo, New York, a city not known for their championship sports teams, comes the story of Brian Armstrong, whose frustrations finally got the better of him, Heidi. Brian was watching a videotape of the 1999 NHL playoff game with his brother. Now keep in mind, he already knows the outcome of this game.
Okay.
It happened in 1999. He got angry back then. Well,
Why would you watch them again?
They were watching the game thinking it might be kind of fun to live old times. And anyway, he was watching a videotape that took place in 1999. Already knew it was going to happen, but still got so angry at the team losing, he took out his frustrations on the television, grabbed it, and attempted to throw it off the balcony. But again, it's the moment of duh, which that would have been stupid enough on its own. But this knucklehead forgot to let go of the television, and he went with it. Yeah. So he too fell 20 feet to the ground. He suffered only minor injuries. The TV was not so lucky. It was destroyed. So there you go. That has been your moment of duh.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your scoop of the day. Panera is being purchased by the same people who own Krispy Kreme donuts. Did you know that?
I did not
I
know
wonder if
that.
they're going to have
That
any
is
changes.
amazing.
You think they'll make any changes based on that kind of thing?
I bet they'll have Krispy Kreme in the Paneras.
Do you think they will? That'd be kind of cool.
They should.
It's a good idea. Hey, a New Jersey teenager has to make a decision soon. Most high school seniors can only dream of deciding which Ivy League school do I want to go to in the fall.
I had to make that decision.
Yeah, me too.
It was
no, I
very
didn't.
difficult.
No. The problem is, and it's a good problem, she has been accepted into all 8 Ivy League school plus Stanford, an Ivy plus school. So her name is Ifoma White Thorpe, and she was shaking when she got the 8th acceptance letter. And that is, I don't know if that's ever happened before, but that is pretty darn cool. Don't you think?
Yeah.
To get accepted to all of the Ivy League schools.
I know it was cool when it happened to me. I just chose
She didn't.
to go to a community college instead.
And drink her way out of it. No, you didn't get that letter, Heidi. You didn't get any of those letters. Hey, if the New York Times motto is all the news that's fit to print, the National Enquirer's motto could be all the news that may be made up. I don't know. Anyway, it's something that maybe people don't realize, but that's not all accurate in there.
Is any news all accurate
well,
anymore?
probably not. But they say, don't be shocked when you hear that since the beginning of the year, UFO sightings are way up. Right now, according to that paper, there have been over 300 times more UFO reports this year than a regular year, according to the National Enquirer. So I don't know if it's true. Could be fake news. I don't know. But I shared it because I think it's interesting. And do you believe in UFOs? Do you think that there's things flying around out there that are not from this planet?
I think we'd be naive to believe that we're the only planet special enough to have life out of everything in this whole universe. But
So
I don't think they'd hang out here with us. I think they'd get here and they'd be
You're
like,
like it.
yeah, we're not coming
We
back.
had enough gas to get home, right? Let's go. Police in Norway caught an assault suspect trying to escape. The suspect was naked and trying to flee on a single roller skate. So things didn't go as planned, apparently. Or maybe that was the plan. I don't know. Are you excited about the new Transformer movie?
Not even a little.
Paramount says they're going to be making some more. It says Michael Bay has directed every Transformer movie so far. He's planning on departing the franchise after this upcoming Transformers, The Last Night, K-N-I-G-H-T. Anyway, they confirmed that the studio has 14 different Transformer movies in some stage of development. 14. That's a lot of movies.
I only saw one of them, and I really wasn't all that excited.
And the thing is,
I
when
liked
was a
the
kid-
cartoon.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I loved that.
That was awesome, but the movies were just like, eh.
All right. Well, 17-year-old girl was swimming in the Gulf of Mexico, and a shark came up close, and guess how she fended the shark off?
Punched him in the nose.
That's exactly what she did.
That's what you're supposed to do.
And it worked.
She
17-year-old girl,
watches Shark Week.
she
clearly.
punched him in the nose, and the shark left.
That's the equivalent of kicking a man in the
Groin.
nether regions.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well, there you go.
That's what they say. It hurts a shark just as bad. So then it
Well, if
goes
you
away.
punch a man in the nose, it does the same thing, too. That's also bad, just so you know. I just want to make sure you understand that. Really? It's like somebody just tickled me. Hey, when you drive your vehicle on low fuel or an empty tank, it can actually damage your vehicle. It can even lead to a crash. It's nice to know how far you can go with an empty light comes on. Most automobile manufacturers build in about a gallon of reserve beyond the empty light. If your daily commute is only a handful of round-trip miles, some cars can go for days on empty. To see how far your car can go when it's out of gas, there's actually somebody that compiled a list. tankonempty.com.
Do not look at that.
I've got she hates it when I get down to the
Oh,
bottom.
it drives me
Oh, yeah.
crazy.
We actually were driving one time, and we were in a vehicle. It said how many miles till empty, and it said 0 miles till empty. She's like, can you pull over now, please? Mm-hmm. We need gas. I've got that list on our Facebook page, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Imagine the sand between your toes and an ice-cold drink in your hand. Join us this November for 80s in the Sand.
Week-long event with 80s music from over a dozen awesome bands.
Plus, meet 80s icons from the movies like Anthony Michael Hall, Andrew McCarthy, and several others.
Get all the details at 80sinthesand.com.
Use promo code RADIO to get a $200 immediate refund per person.
The website is 80sinthesand.com.
Book your week-long 80s vacation right now at 80sinthesand.com.
John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We're in the month of April where everybody gets a little bit nervous about taxes because we got that big tax day coming up. A lot of people get stressed out about that, but there's some good news. For 72% of the filers who might not even realize it, there is some free and easy help available. And on the line with us, we've got a couple of folks who are going to tell us about that. Grace Lawton is a student, full-time student, and from the United Way, Lisa Bowman. They're both in Washington, D.C., and they're going to tell us some of the things that we can maybe use to our advantage. How are you ladies doing today?
We are great, John. Thanks so much for having us.
Glad to have you on the program. And I see the website, myfreetaxes.com. Is this something set up through the United Way?
It is. We're actually really proud of our partnership with H&R Block to bring this to the public. So myfreetaxes.com is available for free. It is the only free tax preparation site sponsored by a nonprofit, and it's eligible for anybody that's earning $64,000 or less.
Now, do you have to be geographically in a certain place, or is this anybody anywhere?
Anybody in the U.S., all 50 states, District of Columbia.
Well, that's really cool. Now, a lot of Americans might not even realize they can get their taxes done for free. How does this work, and what kind of changes have been implemented to make this a little safer for people online?
So with it being sponsored by H&R Block, clearly you can have the confidence that you're on a trusted platform and know that it's secure. Taxes are usually stressful for people, so the interface here is super easy to use. It's really comprehensive. It'll walk you through everything that you need to do. It's available in English. And then we have Spanish language operators that are IRS certified that can help to answer any questions. There's online chat. It is just the easiest tool to use.
That's really cool. Now, Grace, you're a full-time student with a part-time job. Were you a little nervous about doing your own taxes?
At first I was, because I had a couple W-2s that I had to get together. And at first I was filing them with my mom's help, and so I had never done them alone. But after going to My Free Taxes, it definitely helped relieve that anxiety.
Now, what was the process like doing your taxes online for that first time?
It was super easy, super quick. I was able to just do them in one afternoon for like a little bit less than an hour, and it was able to help me through super quick and super easy. So just step by step telling me what I need to do.
For somebody listening that's never done this before, would you tell them that, hey, this was a piece of cake, or would you say you need to be proficient at certain things? Or
I would say you don't have to know or be prepared for anything. You can just go online and it'll tell you all the information you need to know.
Very nice. So back to Lisa. Now, what are some of the benefits of using the software to prepare your taxes? Are there like extra deductions and credits that we might not really think about?
There are. We actually did some research, John, in 2015 and found out that less than half of Americans are aware of two very significant tax credits that are available, the Child Tax Care Credit and the Earned Income Tax Care Credit. And those are things that really help to put money back in the pockets of hardworking Americans. Clearly, with United Way's goal of fighting for the financial stability of people, any extra money that you can get back is really helpful these days. So it will alert you to those tax credits that are available to you and just make it super easy for you to walk through and know what deductions you've got the ability to take. And then those extra savings can go back into your savings account, or they can be used to help offset expenses or pay bills.
So what are the financial qualifications, once again, to qualify to utilize this free program?
$64,000 or less.
So there you go. So if you make under $64,000, is that per person or per household?
It is per person, unless you're filing jointly. But again, all of those questions are available on myfreetaxes.com, or you can call the tax-free toll-free number, which is on the website.
Very nice. Ladies, thank you so much for taking time to chat with me today.
John, thanks for having us.
So much.
And that's a really cool idea. If you'd like to know more, I'll give you that website once again, myfreetaxes.com. And again, thank you to Grace Lawton. She's a full-time student. And a big thank you to Lisa Bowman with the United Way in Washington, D.C. Again, the website is myfreetaxes.com.
John and Heidi.
It's almost graduation time. If you have a son or daughter finishing high school, you need to hear this. They can go to college without racking up a pile of student loans. Matthew Einstone did. He saved over $70,000 on a top-rate education. Then he built a system to show you how to do it too. Learn how you can use this system for your kids or for yourself. Go to freeeducationuniversity.com. Sign up now and get a free 60-minute private consultation with Matthew. Use promo code RADIO20 to save 20% at freeeducationuniversity.com. That's freeeducationuniversity.com.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Says right here, chocolate syrup was used for blood in the famous 45-second shower scene in Alfred Hitchcock's movie
I knew
Psycho.
that because my son told me.
You know how long it took to shoot that scene, by the way?
A very long time.
7 days. Yeah. Hey, here's one of my favorite questions that I ever had for a radio program. I used to do a show I did a trivia question, Big John's College of Knowledge. Remember that way back in the day? Long time ago. There's some people that still have their diplomas that I sent them. I don't know why I would keep it, but that's really cool that they've done that. I guess I got to say, fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Donald Duck's middle name is Fauntleroy. That
I
was the
knew
question
that.
from like 20 years ago that took like 2.5 weeks to get an answer.
We've talked
before
about that on
Google.
Tuesdays with Charlie
I
as
know.
well.
It's before Google. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
George Harrison with My Sweet Lord was the first Beatle to have a #1 hit following their breakup. So of all the Beatles to have a hit, it was George. There you go. And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
In 1920, 57% of Hollywood movies billed the female star above the leading man. A couple of fun facts for you this weekend.
John and Heidi.
Are you tired of the same old 9-to-5 rat race? Sick of not controlling your financial destiny? We partner with a leading health company whose mission is to support you to build a home-based business and help others be healthier, drop excess pounds, and live longer, more rewarding lives. Best of all, everyone who joins after you is placed on your team. No bugging family or friends. Call 866-741-7242 for more information. Or if you'd like, text the word income to the same number, 866-741-7242. 866-741-7242.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Heidi, these are things that according to this list, you're not supposed to ever buy because they say it's a ripoff. But I'm going to tell you, if you like buying these things, buy these things. First one, Heidi's going to not like. Don't buy wine in restaurants, they say.
No, I never.
They say,
I very rarely.
You do all the time.
Very rarely buy wine in restaurants.
They say the markup on wine is sometimes over 200%.
It's crazy because you look at the price of the whole bottle. It's like I could buy 5 bottles of this kind for
and
that.
she does. So, next thing is pre-cut fruit and veggies. They're saying
Yeah,
it
cut it
doesn't
up
cost that
yourself.
much. Doesn't take that much time. Next thing, popcorn. They're saying if you go to the movies and you're getting popcorn, just think of how much. Here's the thing, though. They got to make money somewhere.
Take a big purse and pop some
don't
microwave
do
popcorn
that.
first.
Don't. Do not do that. Anything at eye level in the grocery store. They're saying if you're looking for good deals, don't look straight ahead. Look up or look down.
Down.
Yeah, that's where you're going to find
Bottom
them.
shelf.
Brand name medication. They're saying if you're going to be getting medication, it's the same thing
Always
in that
ask
generic
for the
bottle.
generic.
So
That's right.
Another one. These are tips for misers who want to save a penny. Don't ever drink bottled water, they say. Well, I like bottled water. But they're saying you're really just paying for the bottle because, the water inside, it's like free. Produce at organic grocery stores. They're saying that's a ripoff, according to these people as well. Non-organic produce at organic grocery stores. So apparently nothing from there. Coffee. They say the markup is insane. We're not just talking about fancy mocha grande latte with soy. Any kind of coffee. Plain old cup of Joe.
From like a coffee
Yeah.
shop, not like the coffee you make at home.
And then finally, French fries at restaurants. I knew we were going to start with something Heidi would hate and end with.
You're
'cause
killing
we
me,
started
Smalls.
with wine, and you love wine, and we end with fries, and you love fries. They say fries are the biggest profit makers for a lot of restaurants.
Choose my restaurants based
She does.
on the fries.
There are places we'll go that have awful service, and everything's terrible, but they
the
got the
fries are
best
good.
fries. We're like, yeah, I'll wait. It's going to be a 15-minute wait. I'm like, yeah, we'll wait.
I'll
Come
have
on.
the fries, and we'll take a booth, please.
Squeeze me into a booth. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.
John and Heidi.
How much do you pay for cable or satellite? Don't forget your DVR rental fees and online movie accounts. When you add it all up, many people are paying well over $100 a month. Some pay way more. What if you could cut that down to zero? There's a device that surfs the net to find shows and programs you like with no monthly fee. Many have already cut their cable or tossed out their dish. If you have internet and a TV, you're all set. Learn more about this awesome technology that can save you money every month at channelsurfertv.com. Use promo code RADIO to save 25% at channelsurfertv.com.
John and Heidi.
This is a bizarre story. Hundreds of people lined up in the Ukraine to spit in the face of a woman. What? Apparently, the woman allegedly took flowers and candles from a cemetery.
Oh.
The woman had apparently sold the goods as new.
Oh.
She was caught by some local residents. They were so upset that they dragged her through the mud, made her eat dirt. She was then tied to a pole and had a
cow.
wreath put around her neck. It was then that the people began to line up in order to spit on her face. Fortunately, police arrived and
I was
stopped
going to say they
any
allow
further
this
trouble.
sort of thing in the
No.
Ukraine.
This was not the official punishment. This is what happens when people take matters into their own
my
hands.
goodness.
So they said, oh, you're going to steal flowers from the cemetery and sell them to people? Well, we're going to put a wreath around her neck, going to tie you to a pole and spit in your face.
I wouldn't stand in line to spit on anybody.
You would just walk right up and spit. And you're like, I'm not going to stand in line for this.
No, why would you? I mean,
don't
I
know.
wouldn't. If I'm
I
going to
have
stand
no
in line,
idea.
I at least want to kick him in the gut or something. Why stand in line to spit?
For a moment, people were thinking you were a nice person. You're like, yeah. No, I'm saying, got more than spit for you. Oh, Heidi. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.
John and Heidi.
University of Michigan researchers now say that arguing with your spouse is good for you. We're going to live forever, Heidi. In a 30-year study, they found that those who kept their anger to themselves when unfairly attacked, had shorter lifespans than people who argued back. They say it was especially bad for women who had 4 times the risk of dying if they held their anger in. The other tip is they say the sooner you let it out, the better. So as soon as you disagree, pipe up. Don't wait until, 4 years later and say, I told you so. Oh, wait. Was I pointing at you when I said that? Do you want to argue right here, right now?
This is why my blood pressure is so high, because I never speak my mind.
You always speak your mind. Imagine what your blood pressure would be like if you didn't.
I would explode.
You would. I mean, there'd be stuff splattered everywhere. All right. Anyway, that's from the University of Michigan. So thank you, University of Michigan, for giving us all the permission to argue a little more. Because, hey, it's good for us.
John and Heidi.
It's almost graduation time. If you have a son or daughter finishing high school, you need to hear this. They can go to college without racking up a pile of student loans. Matthew Einstein did. He saved over $70,000 on a top-rate education. Then he built a system to show you how to do it too. Learn how you can use this system for your kids or for yourself. Go to freeeducationuniversity.com. Sign up now and get a free 60-minute private consultation with Matthew. Use promo code RADIO20 to save 20% at freeeducationuniversity.com. That's freeeducationuniversity.com.
John and Heidi.
Heidi, this story almost became our good news for the day. Almost.
Okay.
But it didn't, because we got another one that's, I think, even better than this. But take a listen to this. A man from India was distraught over his mounting bills, decided he was going to end his life, but this story has a very happy ending. The man crafted a well-worded note to his family and friends, then decided to head over to a nearby highway where his plan was this. I'm going to stand on the side of the road, and when a big truck or a bus comes by, I'm going to jump out in front of it. That was his plan.
Aw.
So after dropping off his note with his parents at his parents' house at the front door, he made the short walk to the highway, and then he waited. And he waited some more. And he waited for 2 hours and finally gave up. No traffic. He went and collected the note from his parents' porch and went home to bed. What happened?
Aww.
He had chosen a highway that was actually closed that day for a month-long construction project. So if he had gone there one day before, he'd be dead right now. So he was there. He happened to go to that highway planning on killing himself, and the road was closed that day.
So if he took the note back and went home, how did anybody find out about this?
I don't know. Somebody found the note. Somebody asked him. He told somebody. I have no clue. Heidi, I don't know. It's not like I know this guy. His name is not even in the story.
Huh.
But I thought that was a cool story. Don't you think it's cool?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to please her. We've been married a long time. I'm pretty used to that noise. So what'd you think of that? Was that good? Hey, baby. Okay, it's not quite that bad. But we do have. See, I told you the story had a happy ending, but it was just a story. So anyway, we've got some good news coming your way.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
Always like to wrap this show up with some good news, and I think this is good news. This is kind of a cool story here. A South American tourist is somehow alive and well after spending 9 days lost in the Bolivian Amazon. Can you imagine that, being lost in there for 9 days? He had a group of monkeys to thank for his good fortune.
Okay.
A group of monkeys, Heidi.
Uh-huh.
Let me explain why. After finally being discovered in very poor condition, less than a mile from camp, after 9 days lost in the Amazon woods, the dehydrated, bitten, and swollen tourist told rescuers that he was only able to survive because a group of monkeys were dropping fruit for him, and they led him to water and shelter every day.
How cool is that?
So he was down there, and the monkeys are up there like, dude, you need to get some water.
That
Here,
is
follow
the
us.
coolest thing ever.
It is really cool. Now, he may not give credit to God, but I think God certainly is the one that, put the monkeys there for him. So we're going to give the credit to the big guy upstairs. But it's really cool. I got a link to this fun story on our Facebook page, by the way, facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. How cool would it be to be able to say that you were saved by monkeys?
I love monkeys.
I wonder if this guy is going to get a monkey, if he's going to do something special for monkeys, or, I would make sure that I, would be very grateful to those monkeys because they saved his life.
It's just so cool.
It is. I think it's really neat. So the monkeys were dropping fruit down to him and then taking him to water every day to show him where he could get a drink. So
Well, why didn't you just stay by the water?
I don't know. I think he should have stayed by the monkeys. I think that's what his plan was. Well, I'm going to go with these guys. If they're leaving this area, maybe there's something coming that I need to get away from. I don't know. Anyway, time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.